Welcome everyone, and welcome to another session of the Tuesday workshop by OPM Tools. It is I, Mustafa Shahid, and Cohen Powell together once again. And for today's topic, we are going to talk about something that is heavily utilized within marketing campaigns and just general communication with the clients, yet not so much talked about in terms of setting it up and what are the requirements and how you can play around it. And what I'm talking about is sending out SMS. Now, SMS can be sent out using bulk campaigns or individually contacting your clients or your leads, but there is a huge process that goes behind the system to enable it to send SMS. And that's what Cohen is going to talk to you about. And after that, I'm going to show you how you can utilize the error messages, because when you're sending out SMS in a bulk campaign, you are bound to get some errors due to either the number not being correct or due to other reasons as well. And I will go in that detail afterwards. So over to you, Cohen.
Yeah, as Mustafa was saying, we're going to be showing you how the entire A2P process and how it's done and what it's used for. Now, full name is A2P 10 DLC, and we're going to be going over TCR as well. So A2P 10 DLC is a phone number registration process mandated by the United States government, specifically through the Campaign Registry, or TCR. Is a required registration process for any business or individual engaging with U.S. audience via outbound SMS. The purpose is to ensure legitimacy and adhere to guidelines when sending marketing and promotional text messages. Now, as far as what A2P means, it is short for application to person. In this case, OPM Tools is the application, and the recipient you wish to send the SMS or message to is the person. So application to person. Now, as far as 10 DLC, it's short for 10-digit long code, and this is both the number of digits for the US phone numbers, which contain as well as the name of the new standard. Now, moving on to the actual process in order to start doing this. Now, in order to start doing things, we need to locate where the actual A2P is. So if you go to your sub account and go to settings, then scroll down on this left-hand side and go to phone numbers. You'll be greeted with a list of things such as managed numbers, regulatory, modal and address, trust center, messaging analytics, and advanced settings. If you don't see Trust Center, which is where A2P is, you'll most likely have a button on this dashboard right here that says Set Up Phone System. And if that's the case, then you just simply click the button that says Set Up Phone System, scroll down through all the different like options available, and then you would turn on the option that allows for A2P application. Once you see this, you want to go to Trust Center, and then you'll see the A2P messaging system. Now, as Oren was saying, just said in the text chat, some users may not have whatever permissions to do this. And if that's the case and you would like to do the A2P application, then please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to set that up for you. Now, as we can see, this sub account has already been done, but we're going to be doing it or showing an example of what it would look like for a whole new sub account. Now, to get this set up, we need a form with terms and conditions and a page for privacy policy as well. So let's go back to sites and go to one of our pre-made funnels. Now here we have a regular funnel with the home page, and then later on the funnel steps, we have the employee application form, and then the thank you and the privacy policy. Now, what we're going to do with this is go to our brand new sub account, go to the Trust Center again, and then start registering now. Now, I do not have the full information required for this. It's just going to be dummy data, but I'm just going to show you what all is required from the A2P brand registration. Now, for this, we need to know if the business is located in the US or Canada, which it is, so just click on yes. Does the business you're registering for have tax ID or EIN number? Almost all businesses are going to have an EIN, so you're most definitely probably going to be clicking on yes for this. Next, we need the legal business name. Now, the legal business name is more often than not going to be different from, I guess you could say, the friendly business name. What the legal business name is, it's going to be the name of the company that is on your legal documents, such as like IRS documents and so on. So, for this case, let's just go with Mustafa, the landscaper, LLC, and then select the business type. It'll have the options cooperative, corporation, limited liability company, or sole proprietorship, nonprofit, corporation, and partnership. So whichever applies to those. So since we said LLC, we want to go with limited liability company. Next, we want to go with the USA EIN number. There are also multiple different options available if you are not located within the US. Now we need an actual business registration number, so let's just go and make one up, see if it will take it. 5, 6. There we go. And then select the business industry. Let's just go with construction. And then we need a business email, so let's just do info@overpowermarketing.com. And then we need the website URL. So let's just go with the OverPower Marketing website. And then the business region of operation, whether it works in Africa, Asia Pacific, Europe, Latin America, and USA and Canada. Hit continue, and then we're going to go into the USA or the business address. Once that is all filled out, continue. And the contact information, let's just go with mine. And then you would select your job position for the contact. And then next step, you would want to choose your business use case. Now, Mr. Fun, do you mind explaining the difference between low volume standard and high volume standard?
Absolutely. So, when you're thinking about what your volume requirements would be in terms of your campaigns, you need to understand how many. Number one, what is the length of your SMS going to be like? If it's going to be one segment or two segments, and when we say segments, one segment is roughly around 155 characters, and even a space bar is a character, so is a dot and a comma. So 150 characters is one segment. If you want to send out multiple segments within an SMS, then that is one of the factors you look into. And the second one is how many SMS do you want to send out? If it's roughly about 600,000 segments per day, if you have a contact list of, let's say, 100,000 people, you want to reach out to them at least once a day, and you have like 4 to 5 different campaigns running at the same time simultaneously, then yes, you have to go towards a high volume standard. But most of the businesses all of the businesses that we work with require somewhat around 6,000, 5,000 segments per day, and those segments would mean 5,000 SMS. Now, if your one SMS contains more than one segment, let's say 2 segments or 3 segments, then your limit per day would decrease. So from 6,000 SMS, it would be 3,000 SMS if you're using 2 segments per SMS. So it's a basic maths. So you have 6,000 segments that you can send with the low volume and 600,000 segments that you can send with the high volume. And it's always good to start with low. That is what the basic understanding is. And yeah, for every business, you should start with the low volume standard.
In which case, we're going to be using low volume standard. So once you selected your brand type, you want to click this little checkbox right here saying you acknowledge to basically the terms and conditions and the fees that come with your A2P application. It will tell you exactly how much you will be having to spend for these fees and just any further information. So click that. And next we come to the campaign registration. Now for this, you are basically going to be describing what you're going to be using the A2P process for. So in this case, use case description, we need to describe what we're going to be using it for. So And here we have multiple examples that are free for us to use. Basically, just guidelines of what your use case description should look like. So I normally choose this one, the very first one, copy and then paste. And then it will say this campaign sends appointment information, confirmation, and reminder messages to customers once they have booked an appointment with company _ name on website URL and opted in to receive promotional and notification SMS from company _ name. Now, obviously, for company name and website, we need to put in the name of the company as well as the website that we're going to be showing where customers can apply for text message and SMS. So let's change company name to Mustafa the Landscaper. Do that for this right here. And then we need to change the website as well. I'm just going to be using one of the forms that is within one of our other sub accounts. So go over here, go to the funnels that were previously mentioned, and then we want to choose the employee form. Let's take a look at that real quick, just so you know what all information needs to be in here. So this is one of the calendar forms. This form is within our library of templates within the form builder. So if you want to create something like this, you are more than welcome to in the template library. So here we have the actual calendar. Once we click through that, we will be greeted with the actual form. Now, for the form, it needs to have the basic information and such, but most importantly, it needs to have a phone number, and the phone number cannot be required for the ATP application, whereas to get approved for ATP, you just can't, it's part against terms and conditions with the provider of ATP, that you can't require a phone number within these forms. So make sure that your phone number is not required. And then you also need to have your terms and condition checkboxes. Now with this, you can easily take a picture of this and copy and paste it to your own form. Use this as just a general template and then change the company name and whatever information you want to add to it. But generally you want to just use this as a reference for your terms and conditions. So I consent to receive SMS notifications, alerts from Labor Max Staffing Salt Lake City. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply. You can reply stop to unsubscribe at any time. And for the second one, by checking this box, I agree to receive occasional marketing messages from company. So you'll more than likely see this for other company forms as well. Those checkboxes are for ATP purposes. And then finally, we have the caption. Now, another important part is having your privacy policy and terms and conditions at the bottom of the page. So you see right here, copyright, company name, 2025, privacy policy and terms and conditions. This is very important for the ATP process. So once you click on that, it should take you to the privacy policy or terms and condition page. We have both all on one page. Here you can see the privacy policy and terms and conditions. And yeah, that is basically all that's required for the ATP application. So once we have that, copy the URL link, go back to the use case description, and then change the website to the link URL. And then I personally prefer to add at the end users can view the company's privacy policy and then go back to our privacy policy page, copy, and then paste. Just to get the idea across, yes, there is a privacy policy and you are not going to be selling the customer's information. Next, we need a sample message of what we're going to be sending, or what the SMS is going to look like whenever we send out those SMS. So we have examples right here that we can use. I normally use the first one. Example being, hi John, this is Jane from company name. Our appointment for July 20th at 11 a.m. is confirmed. Please reach out at number. In case you need to reschedule, please reply stop to unsubscribe. That reply stop to unsubscribe is very important as well. You need to provide that option in case they want to stop receiving SMS from the company. Otherwise, it is an instant rejection of your ATP application. So for this, we want to change the company name back to Mustafa the Landscaper. Please reach out to phone number, whatever your company's phone number is. You want to change it to that. In case you need to reschedule, reply stop to unsubscribe. And that's pretty much all you need for the first sample message. For the second sample message, do the exact same thing. Copy the first sample message. And then go through all the verbiage. Change any company underscore names. I see that you weren't able to make it for our appointment. Would you like to reschedule? And then this is where you would put the booking form once more. Or alternatively, if you have a reschedule link, this is what you would put instead. So we just take the link that we previously pasted, copy that, and paste that right there. And again, reply stop to unsubscribe. This is very important. Next, at the very bottom, you'll be greeted with 4 different checkboxes. This is basically asking what type of content is going to be within these messages. So one is the embedded link. Yes, there's going to be a link within these messages that we're going to be sending. Yes, the message will include a phone number, so we would click that box as well. The messages includes age-gated content as defined by the carrier and CTA guidelines. No, our messages will not include that, so we will leave that unchecked. Messages include content related to direct lending or other loan arrangement. Some businesses deal with that, this one does not, so we're going to leave that unchecked. Then finally, once we've put in all that information, we will hit continue, where we go to the final page of the campaign details. How do lead/contacts consent to receive messages? We will use the user consent example, copy and paste. And users opt in by visiting link URL in their details and filling in their details. Users check a box to receive notification and promotional messages to provide their consent. Additionally, end users can also text start to phone number. That last part is completely optional. You do not have to have a phone number available for end users to text. You can leave that out if you wish. But for this, we are going to add previously applied link. Need to go back here, copy the form. And there we go. End users opt in by visiting this form and filling in their details. Users check a box to receive notifications and promotional messages to provide their consent. Let's see if that's true. I consent to receive SMS notifications, alerts from company messages, frequency varies. Yep, that is true. And then finally, leave that blank because we do not have a phone number to provide. Now we need an opt-in message. Use the opt-in message example. Copy and paste. You have successfully opted in to receive notification and promotional SMS from company. Change that to whatever the company name is. Please reply stop if you need to opt out in the future. This is basically going to be the introductory message that they receive once they have been opted in to receive promotional SMS or alerts. And once that is all finally done, you would just hit continue or hit submit in this case. And once you do that, your application for ATP will be submitted to the provider and you will get a notification via email whether you have been approved or not. Now, the brand can be approved and the campaign can be rejected. There's not to worry. You do not have to redo the entire thing. You would just need to redo campaign in that case. Now, I do want to say if your brand has been rejected 3 times, like your company information has been rejected 3 times, you'll be locked out from applying for ATP until you provide any legal documents that OPM Tools asks for. However, you can apply for the campaign as many times as you like. However, keep in mind there are going to be service fees for your application, and I believe it is around $23. if either Mustafa or Oren want to correct me on that. So it is going to be a fee every single time. Yes, Mustafa?
Yeah, I think it's around $23.95 or $23.55. But yeah, somewhere around $23, $24 every time you submit your campaign.
Yep. So it is very important that you get all of this right the very first time. However, the main points are within your form. Do not make the phone number required. Make sure to add the terms and conditions that I showed you earlier. So right here, you can use this as a general template. And I believe that is just about it for the big ones. And always add a reply stop to unsubscribe from any further messages. So those are the big three that you need to look out for whenever you're trying to apply your business for A2P. Now, I believe Mustafa will be going over the automations related to A2P. Is that correct?
Yes and no. There was also one thing. What happens if a campaign is rejected? Would they get to know the reason? And if so, what are the usual reasons and how can they work around it?
Yeah, actually, I have a full list of reasons for rejection that we can go over. Now, here's a list of all the rejection types whenever you're trying to submit your application. First is invalid campaign description. The campaign description does not thoroughly explain the purpose of the campaign, or description does not match the use case, in which case the correction needed. Verify the campaign description is accurate and detailed. If you are an ISV registering a direct offering to your customer, please indicate that in the campaign description. Resubmit campaign for review. Next would be invalid sample message use case. Sample messages are either not provided, unclear, or content does not match the campaign use case. Verify that sample messages are accurate and detailed. Sample messages to reflect actual messages to be sent under campaign and indicate template fields with brackets. Invalid sample messages, public URL shorteners, that is another important one. Public URL shorteners are not acceptable during this application. It needs to be the full URL. And that's exactly the correction. Remove public URL shorteners from sample message. Invalid website URL. Website URL provided for registration. Website needs to be functioning at this registration pre-launch. It needs to be indicated in the campaign description. Opt-in error. Opt-in message workflow is not sufficient for campaign type, and consent is required or opt-in is shared with third parties. So verify opt-in meets CTIA's guidelines. All methods of opt-in need to be listed. If opt-in is collected through a paper form or behind a login, please provide a hosted link for the image of opt-in. Opt-out error, campaign indicated collecting and processing consumers' opt-outs, but workflow is unclear. Missing opt-out keywords or opt-out messages. For the correction, verify that opt-out workflow is accurate and update message flow. Subscriber help. Help message reply does not contain brand name, phone number, or email address. That is also very important. Please make sure to add that as well. Verify that subscriber help message contains brand name, phone number, or email address. Very self-explanatory. Embedded phone number. Embedded phone number used is selected but is not reflective in the sample message. Verify embedded phone number selection is accurate. Age gate age gate not present, not acceptable. Age gate is not present. Verify and add a robust age gate, and so on. Invalid brand support email. Support email is not associated with the brand. The brand support email was either invalid or associated with a public domain, and so many more. Should I go through all of them?
All right. So basically, by now you have understood what the importance of A2P 10DLC is, what it is basically, how to set it up, and what are the different use cases in which it can be rejected, and how to make sure it doesn't get rejected, because yes, each time it will cost you a lot, $23 or $24. And if your brand is not approved within 3 tries, then you'll be locked out until you submit your legal documents. Now, assuming that you have gone through the process, you took our help, or you did it by your own self, and you completed the A2P 10DLC by yourself, it's completed, your campaign, this security feature has been verified. What are the next steps? The next step is you are capable of sending out SMS. But before you do that, there's one major thing to check out first. And that is, if you go into your settings, the screen pop up, perfect. You go into your settings on the sidebar, you go over to the phone numbers on the sidebar, you click on manage numbers, and you check whether or not you actually have a number or not. If you don't, you click over here, add a number, use for SMS and calls. Obviously, you're in the United States. Now you're going to choose as a filter. All right. The first filter is I'm going to unselect toll free because I want a local number and I want it to be a Florida number, for example. So I am going to select the match to first part of the number, since all Florida numbers would start from 850. That's my assumption. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just going to type 850 and apply. And I have a list of all the available different numbers, which I can simply click and purchase. It's that easy. I click over here, wherever I want. And then all I need to do is click on proceed to buy, and I'll get the number. And since I'm already A to B verified, not on this account, but if I am A to B verified, and I go to Trust Center, it will say over here that you are verified. It will also show up on managed numbers that this account or this sub account is A to B verified. Now, once that's done, all you need to do is go back to your contacts and start sending SMS. All right. So all you need to do is select all your records, click on send SMS. If you want to send out a bulk campaign, yeah, okay, proceed. Since I don't have a phone number, I can't attach any number with it. I need to type out a message and click on send. Now, the workflow which I was mentioning in the initial part of this workshop was, when you're sending out bulk SMS to a lot of people, there are chances that those SMS will not be delivered. Now, either because the number is not accurate, or maybe it's a landline number that someone has provided to you as a phone number, again inaccurate, or maybe that person is already DND'd but not within the system. So what DND means is they have replied stop to unsubscribe or stop messaging them, so they wish not to be disturbed by your company or by your account. So they are DND'd and you're still messaging them. It could go towards your opt-out rates and spam rates, so things like that. Now, what are the different errors? Let me first tell you about that. Where did it go? All right, perfect. So some of the usual errors that you might face is, number one, your A2P registration is still pending. That might be the case. So it's not just about submitting the campaign, it's also waiting for the campaign to get approved. Once it's approved, then you can continue sending, then you can start sending out SMS from the system. The second one is the number that you are sending an SMS out to is either inactive or the number does not exist. The third one is it's unreachable, or the service or the number is within an area where the signals are not present, either during their tunnel ride, or maybe they are underground somewhere, or they are within an area which is out of service. The fourth error is that it is a DND enabled number, so you can't message them. And the fifth error, or the usual error, is that the number is a landline number or it's incapable to receive an SMS. Now, if those are your options, what happens then? You still want to be notified, if nothing else. Then all you need to do is go within the automations, create a workflow, and wait for the system to load to open up properly. Perfect. And now you search for it. SMS. Yeah. Now all you need to do is, within the trigger, type in SMS, and you'll find the messaging error SMS trigger already there. You click on that, select a filter, error code is any of, and then you can just select those codes. So for example, if I'm sending an SMS out and the daily message cap is reached, so I save. What do I need to do? Because all the SMS that are going after that will be unsent or will not be delivered. All I need to do is internal notification, I want to be notified about that immediately through an email, not an SMS, because the system can't send SMS. So it will be from location name, from my personal email. It will be to all users, for example, and the message would be something like this: your account has reached its daily limit. And this is the limit that we were talking about when we were talking about low volume versus high volume. That was 6,000 segments a day. So if you have sent already 6,000 segments, if you have already sent out 6,000 segments, you can't send out more. So your account has reached its daily limit. Please look into it or contact OPM Tools to learn how to work around it. Now, the usual workarounds is either shortening your, making sure that the SMS that you're sending out is just one segment, or the other workaround would be to increase in your limits and looking into how to increase your SMS limits. So yeah, that would be how you can work out and make subject. Sorry, testing. Say. And this is how you can prepare for in advance before you send out your SMS campaigns with different types of error messages, and to make sure that when you send out an SMS campaign in bulk, even the SMS which are not delivered, they have some sort of an automation to go through either internal notifications or making a task or something like that, whatever floats your boat. So yeah, that is how we manage SMS and how we prepare for an SMS campaigns. We made sure, number one, the A2P is verified. Number two, we have a phone number within the system. Number three, we understand the daily limits that we are sending out on. And number four, if by chance we could have any reason that an SMS not being sent out, that particular case scenario is already catered for. So yeah, that would be it. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at support@OverPower Marketing, and we shall look into that. Or you can schedule a meeting with us and we can discuss on call. And we hope to see you next week. Until then, bye.